Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It is time for just a word from the Word. Before I read my passage, please know that the message this morning, the word this morning, is not nearly as somber as the passage may suggest to you. But I'm going to go again to the prophet Jeremiah. We're now in chapter 5, and I'm going to read verses 25 and 26 from the King James. There's a reason why I'm reading this, so pay close attention. Verse 25. Your iniquities have turned away these things, blessings of the Lord, and your sins have withholden good things from you. Verse 26. I want you to catch something here. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap. They catch men. Jeremiah is prophesying against the children of Israel because they had sinned. They had done wrong. They had walked away from the covenant of the Lord. I highly recommend you go back to Deuteronomy 28 and in your spare time, read the blessings and the curses that Moses pronounced through God, of the blessings and the cursings of either being obedient to the covenant, which would bring blessing, and the curses of the covenant, the disobedience to the covenant. So Jeremiah, as is rightly so, as a prophet, was declaring destruction because Israel had walked away from their covenant with God. And so God, through the prophet Jeremiah, said, your iniquities have turned away these things. Your iniquities have turned away the blessings because you're not following in the commandment of the Lord. Your sins have withholden good things from you. It's really covenant language. If you look into it, you're going to be blessed if you obey. You're going to be cursed if you don't. And the prophet is telling them, you haven't obeyed. Your sins have kept you from the blessing of the Lord. But verse 26, as I was going through the word this morning, I just stopped for a moment and it took my breath away. And it even, as I got into prayer this morning, it took my breath away. God says, for among my people. And I stopped. And when you're reading in Jeremiah, Jeremiah is listing all of their sins. He's telling them how horrible Israel is. God is moving upon his prophet to pronounce judgment because they have walked away from the covenant. And yet, even though Israel had walked away, they had turned away from God, yet God still called them my people. Y'all, that's a mic drop moment right there. To consider that even when we walk away, that God still longs for that relationship with us. Now, let me tell you, I do not believe that once you're saved, you are always saved. I believe that you have every right and every choice to walk away, to turn away from God. Now, God is going to pursue you, but you have every right to walk away from God and not look back. God's not going to make you turn and walk with him. And if you do not walk with him, even though at one point in time you had a relationship with him, you're not going to be with him in eternity. But here's the grace in all of that, because I know that that's pretty tough. And I know some listening to this may not agree. Here's the grace. even when we turn our backs on him through sin, he still pursues us. Oh, somebody needs to hear that this morning. That even though you've turned your back on God, maybe you've turned your back on him many times, and you've walked away and you felt his presence drawing you back in, and maybe you came back for a little bit, but you just turned away again. Maybe that has been the pattern in your life. God is giving you another chance to turn back to him. He's saying, "Oh, my child, come back to me. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be white as snow." I believe God's trying to reach somebody this morning. Yesterday, we talked about our backslidings being healed. Today, I just believe that the word from the word this morning is, even though you have walked away, you're still his. God is still reaching for you. So turn back to him. I feel the Spirit of the Lord reaching for somebody. So those of you that are watching this, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook, would you share this with somebody? I don't ask you normally to do this, but would you share this little video with somebody today? Because I believe God is reaching for somebody, wanting them to know it's not too late. You haven't walked away so far that God cannot reach you. You're still his. Just a word from the word this morning is, he is reaching for you. He has his hand reaching out to you. Turn, grab his hand. It's not too late. God bless you. Have a beautiful day. Happy Tuesday. And Lord willing, we'll see you in the morning.